Okay, I'll
As
assume you're live. It's my stream is not
you're
working, so
live, good afternoon, traders and investors. Welcome to Tuesday, September 8th edition of Pre-Market Prep at the close. I'm Joel Elconin, along with Mick Hoach, sitting in for Spencer Israel. I am joined by the master of disaster from this morning, Triple D. Did you put that shovel away, and how are you doing?
trying to dig myself out. I'm like the Fed. I'm trying to dig myself out of a hole, but I'm not going to print my way out of it. I'm going to trade my way out of it. So we'll see what we can do here. I've got about half my losses back. So this was set up to be my worst trading day of the year. And that's why I didn't do the show this morning, because it's like I'm really digging out. I'm digging out. I have about half the losses back. I will be trading tonight. So the story, I guess, will be, can I go green? Well, we'll find out. If we get a lot of volatility here, maybe there's an outside possibility. But green feels like a long ways away. A small loss today would be a victory in my part. So obviously a little bit too heavy on tech longs. I thought it was hedged, like I said, and it wasn't the case. And I got really smacked around on my overnight positions. I traded pretty well at the open, traded pretty well. I even got a dip on Rocket where I was able to pick up a point playing it off the double bottom, but it was still not enough to get me green yet, but I still have time. Other people have 18 minutes. I still have 4 hours and 18 minutes because I trade till 8 o'clock. I don't get breaks.
You didn't know it was a double bottom until it was a double bottom. Correct?
Well, I didn't try to get it on the way down, though, Joel. I actually waited, and then it started to pause. It went down there, tried. So I'm looking at an RKT, and what we're talking about is on the charts. If you bring it up, Friday's low 22.56. The next low from today, 22.55. It had already bounced up to 22.80, and I was like, oh, there's a potential for a double bottom here in a story stock that still has maybe some gas in the tank. So I did pick some up. I added some to the long-term portfolio more today, which brought my cost basis down a little bit. And then I also put it on for a trade. I sold the trade about 20 minutes later for a point. It went from 22.85. I picked it up, and I was able to sell around 23.85 in about 10 minutes. It was a nice pop. It's back to those levels here again. The one problem here now is if you're looking at it, it's like, okay, it was down here once. It was down here twice. Now it's time to come down here for the third time. And third time is often the charm to take out. They say there's no such thing as a triple bottom. And, maybe there's going to be in this case, but it needs to hold that level or we could be in the 21 handle.
Yeah, it has.
Joel, your mic's sounding not very loud right now.
Probably I pulled it out a little bit.
Yeah, try to replug her in there, Joel. We're barely hearing you.
Jeez, man, you guys
maybe it's me. I'm having bad luck for you there. So we can hear Mitch well. We're just not hearing Joel quite loud enough. So he's going to try to pick up his audio here right now. Well, give us the tail of the tape here, Mr. Elconin. I mean, we're down significantly across the board. We do have a few pockets of strength, and when pockets of strength, I mean stocks that are green, not very green. But give us the tail of the tape.
Yeah, well, can you hear me now?
You're the same.
Still low. Yeah, still low.
You've just wiggle your mic or wiggle if you've probably pulled it out or something.
Yeah,
something's happened.
You probably pulled it out a little bit on the mic there.
We're always going to have some technical difficulties when Mr. Israel is away, so it seems like that's always the case. But Joel's trying here. He's obviously got to trade. He's got to run the show, and he's got to run all the software to get the show up and running as well. So Joel's trying his best. So I think they can hear me well. We hear Mitch well. So Mitch, how are you doing? Go to Mitch for a second while Joel figures it out. What have you been trading today?
Well, definitely. I mean, you saw the FANG all down. Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, all getting hit more than 3%. Tesla, Apple down, but there was quite a couple that weren't moving with the market with correlation, and you have to look for those when you're getting these really down days in the markets, especially as a trader.
One point you're making here is this has been a FANG-led sell-off, and Tesla, you might as well throw that in the mix. It has led the charge down. They didn't like that it wasn't added to the S&P. They didn't like Nikola, I don't think, with the GM deal. They didn't like anything today. Tesla investors are just have the sell button on all day. It's making new lows right now as we speak. One thing to consider, I know everybody's been waiting for a dip on Tesla, and they're like, wow, what a buying opportunity. A lot of people are saying for Tesla to be down 165 points in 6 trading sessions, but give it perspective. We are where we were 3 weeks ago on Tesla. And if you look at what it is up, from, just going back from March, we were $70. with 334. So it is a dip, but it was so overdone that don't kid yourself that this dip couldn't get more dippier. Other stocks, I mean, I did do a little bit of nibbling here today. Select names, like I said, I did nibble into some Rocket. We know I bought some Penn Gaming a little bit ago. I still think the story is intact there. I like that one. People ask me about the SPACs. LCA, I am still in. Loving the strength in all of the SPACs today. It's a quiet pocket of strength. But if you look across the board, and, Nikola deal with GM, obviously propelling SHLL. That's up 6%. So that's helping that. It probably helped Workhorse today because you got, a vote of confidence for a smaller EV play from one of the big three. So that's probably pushing them all higher. And then the other one that I have, and I've been talking about on the show, is SPAQ. It was ripping higher earlier. It's pulled back off the highs too. It's now only up about 3%. Everything has pulled back somewhat significantly. But we are seeing pockets of strength in the SPACs, and that's good. Even Space, SPCE, is having a pretty good day. Obviously not a SPAC anymore, but was a SPAC at one time. So you are seeing a few things. It's not selling across the board, and that's the good news. Again, the bad news, like you were saying, Mitch, though, is you got, Facebook, hit hard today, down 11 points. Amazon is down 140 points. You got Apple smacked around to the tune of, down 6%, although not at Friday's lows. Joel's still trying to fix his mic. That's why I'm going to run on sentence here. And then, if you look at Netflix and you go in the other ones, it's weakness across the board in tech.
Testing.
You're back. You're back.
All right, I'm back. I took 3 unplugs. Let me catch up a couple things here. One, we did take out Friday's low early this morning. So when you were talking and we were texting about the triple Qs, that was a little bit of a level of concern. We did take that out. We did get to my bottom number at 26.25. That was your August 12th low. We're hanging here. So important to get above Friday's low. Mitch, what did we talk about in Tesla this morning? It's a possible number on the downside.
We were looking for that 340.
It was actually, we were looking 335, I thought, 340, a couple lows in that area.
You're in that vicinity.
Yeah.
What do you do now?
Cover short if I had it.
You're not going long?
I like it.
I'm reading my Twitter stream. Everybody's going long Tesla today.
Joel's going to be
on it.
Hey, Joel's going to be the only one short.
No.
Joel is still long Tesla. So
I
the question is, you're holding on strong. You're in Tesla until, Tesla takes over the world. Joel's a long-term holder.
No,
did you sell anything? Do you ever sell anything? You removed the sell button from your keyboard, didn't you?
No. I did a little bit of selling back in February and March. And, I never bought back in. But I didn't sell the whole farm. So I just, I got a little piece of the farm over here that I could go back to. I didn't, that recovery was so quick. And I'm just really comfortable with my positions and my cash position and stuff.
That's good.
I think the 2 months are going to be, I think the 2 months are going to be rocky. I think we got a solid, I think this is just a precursor of things to come here. We have the roller short term. We have the roller of the contracts, right? Then we have triple witch next week, and those often mark turning points in the market. So I'm going to sit tight here until, we see what happens over the election. Of course, intermediate trades, double bottoms or something to lean on for a swing trade. But I'm a little bit concerned here. I really wanted to get rid of my Peloton today. The Barons gave it the pump, and then I think they came out with a new bike today. I just don't like the way it reacted. It went up, tried to kiss that high and pulled back. Very uncomfortable with this one, more so than the Tesla, because who knows? They come out with a good report and they give guidance that doesn't good. It bothers me too that they snuck in good news before the report. Like, why don't are you going to have a bad report? I mean, I don't know. So
it's going to be a good report. There's no doubt. Peloton is going to kill it. They're going to kill it. The question is, are the expectations too high or not? I mean, we saw DocuSign had a pretty darn good report too, and it was straight down. It actually popped 20 points, then, which obviously I talked about the fade on that. Peloton could be the same story. We're going to hear from work after the close. So Slack is on schedule here. At least it's on my schedule.
Yes.
So Slack's due to report after the close. It's having a great day considering because, it's green. it's up 60 cents. And that's a fantastic day when you see this market just rolling over and near the lows here right now. The question again here is Slack is likely to beat. Are the expectations low enough for Slack that it actually pops? Last time it reported, the expectations were so high that they slammed it on a good report. Could you have a little relief pop? It's like, okay, work was good because work's going to be good again. The quarter is going to be good. So I actually don't mind this one into earnings, but I'm probably not going to play it. But if I was looking at it and going to do it, I could make an argument for taking it long into the report that maybe there's, it's near the lows where it's been for the last 3 months. The expectations aren't super high, and I think they're going to have a good quarter. So I actually don't mind this into the earnings. And if it pops on, I'm not sure I'm fading it. So
the headline number too, they come out, beat by like 42 cents or whatever. And then, you get the bots pick up on that. And then, you get a chance, but then they come out and say, guidance or, something. So I see what you're saying. Tesla just ticked 330.50. What we didn't talk about in much detail this morning, and this is what ailed the market, not only the COVID that you have, but you have oil. Oil is getting absolutely
what's up? Not oil.
Oh man,
it's going down.
Well, and we'll tell you something. So this morning, you kind of saw the same thing happen that we saw Friday. You saw the NASDAQ was weak. They started rolling over and buying the value names. And you saw this again this morning, where some of your value names, some of the slower PE stuff, was actually trading higher. But when oil started to roll over, it took the banks with it, because the banks, some of them actually were green on the day, believe it or not. Bank of America never got green, but a couple of them, JP Morgan ticked green right after the bell. So there was a few that actually did get into the green, not by much, but they weren't getting smacked. Once they started smacking oil, they started smacking the banks. And why did they do that? Bad oil loans. There's a lot of them out there. As oil starts to go down, you start to get worried about, oh boy, here we go again. Wells Fargo, bad loans out there. Could we potentially have an issue? We could. Wells Fargo, $23.97. The low of the entire, crisis here for Wells Fargo has been $22. You're not that far away. It can't seem to get away. So every time we think, okay, this is the start of the bank rally, they pull the rug out from under and they sell them anyway. So even the rotation out of tech could not bring the banks up, and it could not bring a lot of these other stocks up either. And now it starts to look ugly in not only obviously tech, because tech's been a wreck all day, but it starts to look ugly in some of the value names too. I mean, even Boeing, and Boeing had some bad news today, but it's making new lows on the month. So we're getting right down to where we were back on August the 3rd. So You look here, 161, 160. Boeing can't seem to find life. It's a lot of things to not be that impressed about in this market. If you're a bull, if you're a bear, you got some fodder here.
Yeah, and the stay-at-home trades versus the reopening trades. I know there's a lot of dissent. What's going on in New York? I mean, overall, the cases have been coming down. I think what hit the market too is, this back to school. That used to be a boon for the market. You go get the new shoes and the new, the school outfits and the supplies and everything. And now maybe you just went out to Best Buy and bought a new screen or something along those lines. So there's different things ailing the economy. I think Nick pretty well this morning as just, the market, maybe coming back and, touching the old time high, that's good. We're transforming the economy, but to blow 200 points by it, maybe was a little bit of excessive. And now we're coming back down to fair value, but you're losing a lot of leadership here. You're losing the leadership with Tesla and Apple.
Shots right off the bow. Lululemon chat wants to know about, they are due to report here after the bell too. I expect Lululemon to kill it as well. I think they're going to beat the number handily. The question is, are the expectations too high? Unlike work, Lululemon has, had a hell of a run in the last 3 months. Like, we look at work and you think, okay, really since June, work's gone nowhere. So expectations aren't that high. Work kills it. It can actually rally and hold on to the gains. Lululemon is the opposite. Yes, we've sold off in the last 3 days, but, in the last 3 months, we're up from 250 to, we had 400 almost. Now we're 350. I think if you get a pop on the number, I would be a seller of the Lulu pop. So if it gets up to like 365, 370, just because algos get all excited about a headline beat, I think I would be, if I was long it, I think I'd be selling into it. I might possibly even be shorting it. We'll see.
Any
So
imbalances?
more bullish work than Lulu after the fact. I think they both beat though. So I think they both get headline pops from our algo friends.
And what about, did you, I know the closing imbalances are, not nearly as important, but anything you're seeing on the imbalance side here, as we are 5 points off the
And
low
I got to
of the
go
session.
here in the next 30 seconds.
Go,
So
go.
I'm just going to quickly give you the numbers here in balance land. They are mixed. So we're looking at a mixed close. It's nothing there big enough to move markets. I'm looking right now at all the S&P components. I don't see anything that's really going to be impactful here. It's overall just weakness. Can we close off the lows is the question. It looks like we are trying on the S&Ps to close on the lows, which would not be good news for tomorrow.
All right, we will catch you. Go get them. Get green.
Trying to get green.
Try to get green. Yeah. All right, Mitch. We got. You did have some other news that you wanted to cover here in the remaining 3 minutes.
Yeah, let's go ahead and touch. I know everyone wants to talk about Nicola's move today. Over 40% move, and not only is it Nicola, but also like Dennis brought up, a bunch of the SPACs moving, and also Workhorse making a giant run. We definitely need to keep an eye on these. For you traders, you can see that the volatility in these hasn't gone away, and probably isn't going to go away for the next couple of weeks.
Just a quick note on this, and when we were covering the show, we had a fade off that pre-market high, right? And that pre-market high came in, I believe, just over $54. And I believe I was panning it, saying, I don't think you're going to get to that pre-market high, 54.37. Well, you know what? Those sellers are out there. Not only in the pre-market, in the regular session, you go 21 cents through it, 54.56. Now, I'm just going to have to pat myself on the back there for giving you that level. That was a darn good one. So good gains for that. GM got going. It was just, I was kind of worried this was going to happen. It got up. It's given back, but it's holding on a majority of gains. So that is good for General Motors. What else you want to cover?
All right, guys. I know that everybody will hit the like with this one. The favorite of mine, the Workhorse. Let's go ahead and see the Workhorse chart.
The Workhorse chart. Let's see here. Not a bad day at all. $1.71. I mean, that's a great day. I think that the news from the GM, I talked about sympathy pays and possible stocks people are going to be looking at here. So that's a new high for the move. That's a new all-time high. Nothing bad about that. Found support near near the top of yesterday's range. So that'll be a double good level for tomorrow. And then today will mark the all-time closing high for the issue. So keep an eye. Well, let's see. Going back, where did the all-time closing high? Let's see. On the day that it hit 22.90, you closed at 20.91. And today, what do we sneak into the 23 handle? Yep, stuck into the 23 handle, 23.85. But we are going to post a new all-time closing high. Mitch is with us for the remainder of the week. Mr. Israel picked one hell of a time to go on vacation. I hope we got a market for him when he comes back. Sellers on the close, folks. There's no letting up here. Everyone's getting out of the water here, and we are going to be closing near the lows of the session. 32.33. We just ticked up 32.35, 36. So very important level, the overnight trade in 27.50. That's just above your August 12th low, believe it or not, 33.26 and a quarter. Mitch, any final thoughts for tomorrow's show? Who do we have coming on tomorrow? I'm kicking myself here. I know who we're having on. We're having on Frank Holmes, the inventor of the Jets ETF. He will talk to us. He sent me some nice charts to work on, and that's going to be it. Mitch, once again, any final thoughts?
Yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye on Apple. Of course, they announced their digital-only event on September 15th, so keep an eye on that, investors. One thing to keep an eye on, they are not releasing the iPhone with this one. Said to only release new products like the Apple Watch and iPads. So we'll see how investors go ahead and take this in over the night.
All right. All the information, material, and or content contained in this program is for informational purposes only. Investing in stocks, options, and futures is risky and not suitable for all investors. Please consult your own independent financial advisor before making any investment decisions. For Joel Elconin and Mitch Hoach, we'll see you tomorrow morning. Thanks, folks.